Have you ever tried to build your own e-commerce website? So then you went over to YouTube. You found a tutorial that was maybe 2 hours long, so then you gave it a try. Every builder promises it's easy, but once you start, there's tons of plugins to install, layout settings, padding and margin settings, Flexbox options, then you're 4 hours deep, your website breaks, and you're totally pissed off. Then you start to think to yourself, isn't there something easier?
Hey, stupid.
What?
Just tell me what you want, and I will build your dumb little website.
All right. So then Daryl told the AI exactly what he wanted. He explained he wanted a coffee website with full e-commerce features, and 30 seconds later, he excitedly shouted, yes. If that sounds like you, I get it. I feel your pain. Now, AI has actually made things a lot easier. I'll be showing you a new game-changing tool that can instantly create you an e-commerce website in just a few clicks. You simply enter what you would like the AI to create, and the AI will generate a completely new e-commerce website. No complicated design options, no Flexbox, no padding and margin issues, just an instant e-commerce website using AI. I'll be showing you how to do this with the new Hostinger e-commerce AI tool. All you do is just enter in a prompt and then voila, you got a new e-commerce website. And just in case you need help, we actually have a prompt in the video description that you can use to follow along in this e-commerce tutorial. But let's get started. Now there is a link in the video description. It'll take you to Hostinger's website where we're gonna set up your new e-commerce AI websites. Okay, and this is Hostinger.com. You've probably heard of them. They're actually officially recommended by WordPress.org. They have great pricing and they have an AI builder. Now, once you get to this page, all you'll do is click on Claim Deal. Now, if you scroll down, there's gonna be 3 business plans. Now, in order to access the AI tool, you need to get the business plan or better. The premium does not include the AI builder, so you wanna make sure that you do select the business plan or better. So right here, I'll click on Choose Plan. Now the next is the period. Now the longer you sign up, the cheaper it is, but if you just want to test this out for the very first time, I definitely recommend 12 months. This will actually give you one of the best discounts, and also you can use my coupon code to save even more money. So right here under have a coupon code, you'll go ahead and type in Daryl10, and this will give you an additional 10% off any single plan that you choose. So right here, I'll click on apply. And look at that, the code Daryl10 saves you an additional 10% off any of the plans that you choose. Now keep in mind, there's also a 30-day money back guarantee for any reason whatsoever. So once you enter in your coupon code, you'll then click on continue. On the next screen, you'll enter in your billing address. So you'll put your first name, your last name, and your billing address. Below that, I'll click on continue. And next you'll enter your method of payment. So you can use credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, and Apple Pay. Now, once you enter your information, I'll then meet you in the next page. Okay, now once you go to the sign up process, you need to select the AI builder, and then it'll bring you to this screen right here where you can actually let AI create an e-commerce website for you. Now, before we get started here, we first need to hop over to ChatGPT. So over here, I'll go to ChatGPT, and we're first going to ask it a few questions. I need help with a prompt with Hostinger AI. Can you help? I want to create an e-commerce website. Now, the reason why I always ask these questions to the AI is because I want the AI to get itself familiar with the actual AI builder. So after you enter the prompt, it'll then ask you a few questions. Now, you don't need to answer a lot of these because you're going to get color palette and styling options in Hostinger AI. But over here, let's go ahead and answer some of these questions. I want my e-commerce to be an American coffee shop. Can you use the color scheme from Starbucks and include typical homepage sections? So next I'll press enter. Now what's great about this is that since we notified we are using Hostinger AI, they already know that it has to be less than 700 characters. So here's the main prompt, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna copy and paste this into the Hostinger AI builder. So I'll go ahead and copy this. So for the brand name, you're gonna enter the name of your actual business. For my website, I'm gonna put Kopi Coffee. And then here, I'm gonna paste in that description. So here, I'll paste in that prompt. Now check this out. So notice here how I put mobile-friendly e-commerce websites. Hostinger AI recognizes this as an e-commerce website, and they're gonna integrate the shopping cart onto my website automatically, right? Amazing. So make sure that you do get this suggestion and make sure you have this checkbox added. If this did not come up for you, just make sure that you put an e-commerce website in the description to let the AI know you wanna build an online store. So once you enter in your description, you'll then click on Create a Website. And within like 20 or 30 seconds, you're gonna have a brand new e-commerce store. And here we go, we have our Kopi Coffee website. Notice here how we have this like strong American flag with the coffee in the background, looks great. We have the 2 buttons here. Scrolling down, we have our products, and this is just like demo content. You don't have to have this, you can delete it if you want. Here we have some demo products. Below that, we have these stars with just some testimonials. And then we have a contact form here at the bottom with our footer there at the bottom as well. Now you can also go ahead and adjust the color palettes right here on the right side. So they do have many color palettes you can go through, so you can pick one that works best for your business. Now let's just say you didn't like the store it created for you and you want to go ahead and try again. No problem. Here at the top left, I'll click on create again. And then we can just try it again one more time. You can always update the prompt here as well. So if you wanted to adjust something or if you wanted to update something, you can just do it right here and then just click on create a website. And then the AI will just create another version of the website. And voila, now we have a second version where we have this landing page. We have these, these categories. I do like this actually. Here we have our mugs where we have this sort of like, collage right here. And then here we have some more products, and then we have customer reviews, and then we have our contact form here with an image there at the bottom. Looking good, right? So just like that, we've basically generated this brand new website. So once you actually get a design that you like and you adjust the color palettes, here at the top right, I'll click on continue. Okay, so when you first click on continue, it's gonna bring you to the store manager, but I don't wanna do this just yet. We'll do this a little bit later. So to go back to editing the website, here at the top right, I'll click on edit websites. So then it's gonna take you back to the builder, and let me just give you a 10-minute crash course on how to use this builder before we jump into the products. So let's go. So this is the Hostinger AI builder. Now for every section, you'll click on edit section, and this gives you more design options. This is where you can add a color, you can add an image, and then also you can add a video background for all of your sections. Now real quick, you notice here how we have this image on top of the background. I wanna get rid of this. So this might not happen to you, but if it does, I'll click on this image here and I'll just click on delete, right? So now we just have this basic background. So for instance, if you want to maybe change this, I'll click on edit section. And then here we have replace video. So what's really cool is you can actually just type in what you want. So I'm gonna put in coffee. And then we have all these different images that represent coffee, right? And these are full-on videos. So for instance, I'll click on this one here. And then I'll click on select item. Now what's really cool is you're gonna see that video background play right there and it looks fantastic, right? Now we also have other images that you can choose from. So if I click on image and click on replace image, you can do the same thing. So right here you can upload your own images, but you can also click on free images, and these are courtesy of unsplash.com. So for instance, I'll type in coffee as well. And then voila, now we have some coffee images. Now they do look a little blurred, but once you click on it, it then goes into high res. So here, click on add to page. We now have this beautiful background. So this is basically how you can, change the background for your e-commerce store. Now I'm gonna go ahead and close this. So you also have other options where you can generate images, you can clone each section, you can also hide this or delete this. You can also move this down or up. So for example, I'll click on move down, and it takes that section and it moves it down. If you want it up, we'll go to move up, and then it just puts it back up, right? Now, if you do want to edit something on your homepage, you'll just click on the text and then you can change it right here. So you'll double click on an element, and for each element, once you double click on it, you then have more styling options. So here we have the color, the actual style, the fonts, the size, and you can bold it. Now, let's say, for example, you want to move something around, right? You can just click on the element here and you can just visually drag and drop it, right? Really cool. Also, you can go ahead and duplicate sections and you can move them around like that, just in case you want to duplicate some of the hard work that you've already done. But I don't want to do that, so I'll click on delete. Now this video background is going to get a little distracting, so I'll just change this really quick to image, right? Cool. Now let's say, for instance, you want to actually add in an element. Here on the left side, I'll click on add elements, and here's elements you can drag and drop onto the page. So for instance, maybe you want to have like a video here on the right side. I'll just go ahead and drag and drop this video, and then we have this video, and you can just go ahead and move it into place. Notice here how you can align it perfectly with the text just to make sure it's not too tacky. And then for every element, like I mentioned, there are styling options. So I'll click on edit video, and this is where you can insert your link, you can add autoplay, and then also adjust the animations for every element. So for instance, I got this stock footage of this coffee. I'll go ahead and copy this, go back to our website, and I'll just paste that in there. And then voila, now we have that video on our websites. So feel free to go ahead and explore these elements. So I think social icons is pretty cool. So for instance, I'll probably put the social icons right here, right? And if I click on edit social icons, you can go ahead and link them to your various social networks. Now, let's say, for instance, you made a mistake, right? Let's say I took this, I put it over there, and then I'm blocking the text and everything looks bad. All you gotta do is click on this undo button, and this will go back into the history and revert any changes that you made on your website. Now, the next thing I want to show you all is the buttons. So if I click on a button right here and click on edit button, you can actually link this button to various pages on your websites. So for example, here we have link to, and we can go ahead and pick a page, right? So I'll go ahead and select maybe our contact page or even our shop where they can go ahead and shop. Here we go, our shop. And then instead of discover, I'll put something like buy now. And then for this one, I'll change this to contact. And then for the page, I'll just go ahead and put in our contact page, and then I'll close that. So scrolling down, you'll see that there are other sections here where we can link them to various product categories if we want to go that route. Now, let's say you want to add a section, right? So right here, you'll see add a section. I'll click on add section. And this is where you can add in complete sections or even generate new sections using AI. But they do have some pretty good sections already. So for example, here they have tons of sections you can add. Also, they've broken it down by category. So we have the about us section, right? Looking good. The services, looking good as well. And then all these other sections you can add. So if you want to add in a section, all you got to do is just click on the block, and then it inserts that block. And then from here, you can just go ahead and style this. So I'll click on this image, and the same thing for this one here. I'll go ahead and click on edit image, and then I'll just replace this image with another coffee picture, and voila. Now, for instance, let's say that you want to maybe make this section larger or smaller. So for every section, you'll see that there's section heights. This is where you can actually control every single section. So if you find that's too much space, you can always reduce the amount of space here at the bottom of the section where it says section height. So I think that looks much better. Now, let's say, for instance, you want to add the products on your home page. So right here, I'll scroll down, and I don't want to use this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So I'll click on this and delete it. And I want to add in my own products. So I'll click on add a section. And then right here, you'll see online store. So here's your product list. And then also you can add single product on your homepage if you want to go that route. They do have a few product list styles you can choose from right here if you keep scrolling down. But I'll just go ahead and select the first one. And then here is a list of all the products on your e-commerce store. Now you can go a step further here and edit these sections. So if there's something that you don't like you want to get rid of the filters or something, right here under edit section, they have a whole list of options that you can style this specific section. So for the layouts, they have left or centered, where you can change that. They also have the image ratio and columns. So if you just want 3 columns, which I think most people like, I'll just select 3 columns. But for the image, I do like square. I don't want it so large, right? I think that's better, right? But I'll go ahead and close this. If you speak various languages, you can go ahead and change the store language. And here they have many different styling options that you can choose from. I don't like the filters. I'm gonna go ahead and take those filters off. And I think something like that is much better. So feel free to go through all these options and, adjust it and style it exactly how you want. Okay, now the last thing I want to do is I want to make this a little bit more boxed, right? More condensed, right? A little bit more cleaner. Now for the product section, you cannot add elements. So if you try to add elements onto this section, it won't let you. And that's just because generally when you try to add elements on top of add to cart buttons, things can get really weird really fast. So scrolling down, just remember, if you do want to add in any section to your website, you'll click on add section. And then right here, you can just go ahead and grab one of these cool blocks and then insert them on your store. So feel free to go through the rest of your website and design and customize it however you would like. Now, one of the other options I want to talk about is the actual contact form. So for the contact form, I'll click on edit form. Here you can actually insert more fields. So for instance, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have access to this specific email. So I'm going to change mine to pchorder@gmail.com, which is my current email. Then I'll click on save. Now for the field section, this is where you can add in more fields. So let's say, for instance, you want to add a phone number box. Here I'll put in a paragraph. And then for the paragraph, this will be phone number. And then here, telephone. This is helpful if you have orders on your website where you can always contact them in case anything goes wrong with their order. Here, I'll go ahead and move this to the top, right? There we go. There it is. All right, there we go. So we have first name, last name, phone, email address, and then your message. Okay, so I think at this point you have a good understanding of how to use the AI builder. So feel free to go throughout the rest of the website and adjust anything that you'd want on your new store. Now, just to give you some inspiration, this is what I made before this tutorial. There is my logo. We have, some inspiration there at the top. Here we have our coffee where we have our products right here, right? And then here I added in this coffee banner. And then we have this background, and then there's my footer there at the bottom. If you do want to check out my demo websites, I'll go ahead and leave this in the video description. But let's go ahead and go back here. So next, let's talk about the actual other pages here. So I'm gonna click on the shop page. And this is where you can also design and customize your shop page. So this is a list of all of your products. And just like we did on the home page, if you want to edit this section, you'll click on edit section. And this is where you can be a little bit more customizable with this section. So on this page, I might want to add filters, right? So I'm going to put filters here, and then maybe also add a search box. So click on a search box here as well. And I want to put this on the left side. I think that's actually sharp. So let's take a look there. I think that's a lot sharper, right? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I literally just made this up, right? So scrolling down here, we just have some other testimonials and reinforcement for our products. And then we have our footer here at the bottom. Okay, so that is how you can design the actual shop page. Now let's talk about the product page. So I'll click on one of these products. And then here we can also customize this a little bit. So click on edit section. And then here we can actually adjust the layout. So here we can put this in the center, right? Or for the gallery placement, we could put this on the left side, which essentially shows images here if there's a gallery, right, on the left side. You can also change the image ratio, which I really do like. I do love this option. I wish WooCommerce had this, but they don't. So I think square, it makes it really slick, and I do like that style. And if you want to add in a border radius, which is like a circular motion, you can go ahead and do that. And of course, there's other styling options here for your single product. Really cool, right? I love the customization option for the single product page. Now, if you want to preview your website, all you got to do is click on preview here. And this gives you a great preview of your store. So I'll click on the home page. And then here we have that video. We have our social icons, right? Scrolling down, we have some images and products, our customer reviews, and everything looks fantastic. Now, the very last thing that we have to do is we have to add in our logo. So here I'll click on the copy coffee, and then we're gonna upload our logo. Now, I do have demo images for all of you in the video description, and I'll also talk about where you can get a really nice logo for your e-commerce store. So here, click on upload files, and then here is a list of all of my demo images. So I'm just gonna go ahead and upload all these right now. And then here's my logo. So I'll go ahead and click on insert. You can also adjust the logo width, right? So you can make this bigger or smaller, but I think adding in that logo looks really good. I also want to change this background. You know, to be honest, I don't really like all this stuff going on right here. So if you ever want to get rid of something, just click on it, delete it, click on it, delete it. And I want to add that video background. I just like this so much better. It looks clean, right? There's something about this that just looks really organic. Now, the last option is the header. So right here, I'll click on the header, and then I'll click on edit header. So this is where you can actually adjust the header of your actual website. So you'll see there's several different styles that you can choose from. I do like this one. No, I'm sorry, I like this one. I just like the menu on the left side. You can also add in elements right here, like showing social icons and also a button. I do like this because it fills up the page. It makes it look a little bit more structured. I do like that. Here you can adjust the logo, the shopping bag, right? So for example, I'll put shop, or no, here, cart, right? Cart, and then we can change the bag here, right? Pretty cool. And then here we have style, which you can change the actual background color if you want to go that route. Here, I'll also click on this banner, and you can always adjust this as well by clicking on the text, and then you can change this to something else, like, you know, welcome to our coffee shop. Okay. Well, beautiful looking website. Let's go ahead and save it now. Here, I'll click on save. All right, party people. Well, that is pretty much it for the website design. So after you make your changes, just make sure to click on save here to save all the changes you want on your websites. All right. But overall, we have a really nice looking AI website that we made in just a few minutes. So if you have any questions about the builder or something that you didn't know how to use, just feel free to drop me a comment in the description, and I'll get to all your comments to help you with your store. So this is Fiverr.com. I'll leave a link to Fiverr in the video description. And all you gotta do is type in logo, and you can get a logo made for you for as little as like 10 bucks. They have some for like $10, $15, 20 bucks. And these guys are actually pretty good. So I do recommend to custom make your logo. I do not recommend a free logo maker because legally you can't use those logos anyways. So yeah, I'll leave a link to Fiverr in the video description. So next, let's talk about the actual settings here on the left side. So right here, we have pages and navigation. Now right here, we have our home page, but we also have shop, testimonial, and contact. Now, if you want to make a page for your store, all you got to do is click on add a page. And then here, we can just go ahead and create like a section, you know, an about us page or something. But let's just say you want to start from scratch. I'll click on empty page. And then here is our empty page. And all you got to do is just add a section to it, right? So maybe you want to, you know, put something here like, I don't know, what should we put here? A services section, right? I'll put our services. And then once you actually design this page to your liking, you can just change the name of the actual link right here. So I'll go ahead and click on pages navigation. And then right here, I'll go ahead and rename this. And this will be like, you know, our staff or something, right? Our staff. Here, click on save. Now also for every page that you create, you also need to adjust the SEO for it. So for example, for the shop page, I'll click on the SEO. And what's really cool is the AI assistant will just generate AI content for all of your SEO description. So right here, I'll click on generate new SEO info. This gives a description about the actual page, which is our shop page. I'll click on next step. Here we'll go ahead and talk about what we offer. So coffee essentials, beans, Kopi coffee. Click on next step. And then I'll click on finish. And then here's the final appearance. So you just want to make sure that this is up to date with whatever you would like. So we have shop premium Kopi coffee, beans, and essentials online. And then we have our description. So just feel free to enter in description that best fits your business. And then once you're done, you'll click on finish. And after that, we've generated AI content for our shop page. Now, if you don't get the green check mark, don't panic. Sometimes it makes errors. So for example, they're saying you should include Kopi coffee in your URL, but it actually does appear right here. So if you don't get the green check mark, do not panic. It's not a big deal. Just make sure that you generate AI content for all of your pages for your SEO description. Okay, so let's go ahead and click back on the navigation. And if you ever want to move something around, you can just go ahead and drag and drop it right here to move the actual menu items if you want to go that route. You can also add a coming soon page just in case you don't want to make your website live on the internet. But our website isn't really live right now, so I'm just going to take that off anyways. Now the next option is the website styles. This is where you can essentially set a default font for your websites and also a default color if you want to go that route. You can also adjust the buttons. So if you want to change all the buttons on your website, if you click on this square, you'll see this now changes that to that square. But if I click on circle, it changes it back to that circle. So if you want to add animations to all of your pages, so for example, I'll click on fade, and then you'll see the products fades in. I'll click on scale, then you'll see it scales in, and then we also have slide, which it slides it up. I think slide's actually pretty cool. So that is what the website styles are. And then here we have the AI tools where you can just use AI generated contents to add sections on your websites. I'm not a big fan of this because you have to pay for every time you use it, and that can get quite expensive. So if you want to check this out on your own free time, feel free to check out the AI generated contents. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to talk about before we jump into the store manager is the general settings. So right here, I'll click on more settings, and there are some things that I do recommend that you add. So right here, I'll click on general settings, and this information you want to fill out before you make your store live. So here we have the favicon. Now the favicon is the icon that appears at the top of the browser when people visit your store. So make sure to add in a favicon. So I'll click on add image. I'll select Kopi coffee, right? Here we have the Kopi. I'll click on save. And just remember to go to Fiverr if you need a logo or favicon. Here, click on save. And then here we have the link preview image. This is important because if someone shares this to a social network, this is the image that's going to represent your business. So I'll click on add image, and I want to use this one. This one I made myself. So I'll go ahead and select this. And that looks a lot slicker. I do like that a lot, right? So I'll click on save changes. And then here we have a cookie banner. If you do use cookies on your website, you just want to make sure that you enable this and let them know. So I'll click on save changes. And then the last option is a www prefix, and I don't think you need to turn that on. But just make sure that you do add these so that users can share it to their favorite social network. And the last thing I want to talk about before we jump into the products is the actual submission. So right here under form submissions, this is where you can see a list of all of the contacts. So right now we have 0, but once people do fill it out, you can take these subscribers and send them to any sort of email marketing platform you choose. I do recommend OmniSend. Now real quick, just 30 seconds. If you run a business or an online store and you're not using OmniSend, you're doing email marketing the hard way. OmniSend gives you pre-built automation flows that handle everything, like new subscribers, welcome emails, abandoned cart emails, product recommendations, all on autopilot. It's really simple. You just pick a template, customize it, and boom, you're live. OmniSend will then send a sequence of emails automatically over a period of time to your favorite customers. It also connects with all major CMSs like Shopify, Wix, and WordPress. I've used many email tools and nothing comes close to the ease of use with OmniSend, and I personally use it on my e-commerce website. It's powerful, beginner friendly, and yes, they have a free version. I'll leave a discount and a link to OmniSend in the video description in case you want to check it out. With that said, let's jump back to the video. Also, under the general settings, you can always see your analytics, so you can see your website traffic. You can also change the language and even export this to WordPress if you want to go that route. I haven't done that yet, but maybe I'll make a video showing you how to do that in another video. Okay, so now that we went through all the options, now let's talk about the store manager, which essentially allows you to build product on your e-commerce store. Now, as you can tell, right, the Hostinger AI builder is actually quite simple to use. You can just move stuff around, you can add in sections, you can change your product, and there's styling options for every element, which makes things very customizable at the same time. Now, in this section of the video, we're going to focus more on the e-commerce section. So we're gonna go to the store manager, we'll add some products, set up your shipping, taxes, and all that good fun stuff. With that said, let's go ahead and jump back to the video. Okay, so now let's go to the store manager. So here on the left side, I'll click on manage store, and then we're gonna click on add a product. And this takes us to the store manager. So the first option is what kind of product do you wanna sell? We have physical products, digital download, services, donations, and all these other types of products. But for this video, let's just stick with physical product. So click on physical products. And then here we can upload an image. Now, what I love about this AI, it'll do its best to actually fill out all this information based off the image that you upload. So right here, I'll upload an image. I'll go ahead and select my honey Kopi coffee. Here, I'll click on open. And what Hostinger is gonna do right here, it's gonna do its best to make text based off your product that you upload. But feel free to change the title. So if, like, for example, this is not organic, so we'll just take out organic. And then here you can adjust the subtitle and then the ribbon. And then here you can add in some description. So again, the AI writer does its best to add in description based off the image that you uploaded, but you can upload any type of content here that you choose. So once you upload your image, we'll scroll down. And then here we have pricing. So I'm gonna put $25. But for the discount price, I'll put 20 bucks. If you have a SKU number, you can add it here. And then also you can add in the weights. If you want to track the quantity, you can also put it there. This will let the customer know how many there is. And that does add a sort of scarcity to the product. So that could encourage them to buy the products. So next we have additional sections. Now, if there's something that you want the customer to know about this product, you can enter it here. Now, real quick, if you hover over this question mark, they'll give you an example of what it looks like. So maybe something like shipping or return policy, or even the country of origin. So right here, I'll click on add info. For the shipping info, I'll just put something like takes 3 to 5 days to ship. I'll click on save, and I'll add one more. Here I'll put made in Indonesia. And then below that, I just threw in some description. So I'll click on save. So feel free to add in as many informational sections as you choose. So let's go ahead and scroll down. So the next is options. Now let's say you have multiple sizes like size or color. This is also referred to as variable products if you're using WordPress. But right here, I'll click on add option, and we're gonna add 3 different sizes. So I'll put size. So here I put in 3 different sizes. We have 8 ounces, 12 ounces, and also 16 ounces. You can also add in color as well if you want to go that route, but I'll just go ahead and choose these 3 sizes and click on save. So now that we have those sizes, we need to adjust the price. So I'll click on manage variants, and then here we can adjust the price for each specific variance. The first thing I want to do is make sure that we use this image, and I do love that, how we can just go ahead and select these images like that. For the small, we'll leave this as 25. This one will be 35, and then this one will be 50 bucks. And you just want to make sure that you actually adjust the discount price as well. So I'll put maybe 30, and this will be like $40. Here, I'll click on show lowest price first, because I want the lowest price to show first. And then you can enter in the weight and the quantity for each individual variant. So once you're finished, you'll then click on save. Next, we'll scroll down, and here we have custom fields. Now, this is actually pretty cool. So what we can do is add custom fields for our product. So for example, my first custom field is, would you like this gift wrapped, right? So this will actually show up as a custom field. I do think they'll add more in the future, but to my best knowledge, you can only add in 1 custom field per product. Next, let's go ahead and scroll down. So here we're gonna add in categories. Now for the AI suggestion, I'll go ahead and use this gourmet coffee. Okay, so now this product will be assigned to this specific category. So when someone clicks on gourmet coffee, they're going to see all the products in the gourmet coffee category. And lastly, we have related products. Now, if you want related products to show, you'll enter the section title and the category here. If you do not want related products to show up, you can just uncheck that and they will not show up. But I do recommend that you have this on because it does increase conversions. So I'll put what you may also like. And then for the category, I'll change this to all the products. So once you enter in all that information for your product, you'll then click on save. All right, and that's it. So there is our first product. Now these other products right here, you can go ahead and delete these. So if you don't want these other demo products, you can just go ahead and uncheck these. And then I'll go ahead and click on delete. Now you can also filter by category, you can filter by product and all these other options. Now I have other coffees. So what I can do here is I can just go ahead and quickly duplicate this. So click on the 3 dots and click on duplicate. And instead of actually adding in the honey product, I'll just throw in the wine product. So I'll just use my honey wine. This is actually fermented wine, and it does taste kind of similar to like a hint of wine when you're drinking coffee. All right, and there's my Kopi wine coffee. We have all of our description filled out. Scrolling down, you're gonna see it saves all that prior information. So this is a fast way on how to duplicate products. Below that, we have all of our sizes, and they're already priced from our first products. Here we have our custom fields, our categories, and then our related products. So that's how you can quickly duplicate products. So I'll go ahead and click on save. And voila, now we have our Kopi wine coffee. And I'll go ahead and make my last product really quick. And there we go. So now we have our 3 products. Now the next thing I want to show you all is product reviews. So if you want people to actually, review your products, you can turn on product reviews. This essentially allows people to review your products. Next we have discounts, which are essentially coupons. So right here, I'll click on add a discount. So for discounts, you can either add a percentage or a fixed amount. A fixed amount is a dollar amount, and a percentage is a percentage off the total cart value. So I'll put in my coupon code. So here's my discount code, my discount name, and then the discount amount, right? 10% off. Now just remember, the discount code is what they're gonna enter at checkout. You can also apply this to all products or just specific categories. This is helpful if you have brand new products that you don't wanna, offer a discount for. So then you can offer discounts for your other products, but not necessarily your new products, right? So that's an example of why you'd wanna use these specific categories. Below that, we have limit the total number of uses. So you can say, it's only, people can only use this coupon code 10 times. Next, we have the set minimum purchase. So this means they must spend at least $50 in order to qualify for this discount. And then lastly, we have the active dates where you can put the dates of when this coupon is active. Once you fill out this information, we'll then click on save. All right, cool. So here's our discount code and then the uses. Next, we have categories. So here we have categories, right? And you can add as many categories as you want. So let's say, for instance, you want to add another category for maybe like, coffee equipment or something, right? Coffee equipment. And you can always assign those products to this specific category. So click on assign products, and I'll use the Kopi coffee sets and click on save. Okay, so that's how you can create categories for your products. Next, we have analytics. So this shows you the analytics of your store, shows you the sales, the total orders, and then the average order value. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the settings. So the first option is the store details. So here you'll enter in your store name. Here you can adjust the currency for your store. And then also you can change the measurement system. America is on the imperial system, but I think most countries use the metric. So next I'll click on save. Next we have the company information. So for the company information, make sure you do fill all this out because this will appear on all the invoices when people buy your products. All right, so I put in my business name, my logo, and then here I put in my contact information. So once you enter in all this information, you'll then click on save. So next, let's go ahead and talk about the shipping. So I'm gonna skip payments, we'll do this last, and then we'll go to shipping. So right now I'm in Thailand. So let's say for instance, I'm in Thailand or something and I wanna ship to products within Thailand. Here I'll click on the 3 dots and click on edit. Here we have the name of the shipping. So this is regular shipping, and then I'll add a shipping option. So right here, add option, and this will be standard shipping. And shipping is gonna cost about $5. Now you can go a step further here and click on add conditions, and you can get very customizable. So you can actually charge shipping based off the order price or off the order weights. Now I'm just going to leave this as default, right? So I just wanna charge people a minimum of $5 for shipping. Okay, so now that we have standard shipping, we need to actually adjust regular, right? So for regular, I'll click on the 3 dots and click on edit. So free shipping requires what? Well, I'm gonna put $0 here, but they have to meet a condition. So they have to spend at least like maybe $100 and then we'll pay for their shipping. So then I'll click on add and there we go. So free shipping requires $100 and up. Now, if you want to add in more shipping options, you can do that here. Okay, so that's how you can apply shipping for your products. So here I'll click on save. Okay, next let's go ahead and click on checkout. So under checkout, we can actually recommend additional products at the shopping bag if you want to do that, which I think is a good upsell. Now scrolling down, we also have checkout policies. So here we have terms and conditions and also a privacy policy. Now, in order to create a TOS and privacy policy, all you got to do is go over here to your page navigation and then click on add a page. So the first thing that I want to do is scroll down here and click on terms and conditions. And this will actually generate a TOS for our website. So I'll put in Kopi Coffee and click on add page. Now I want to hide this page, so I don't want it on the menu. Here I'll click on save. And then I'll go ahead and just make sure this is published. So I'll click on save here. And then we'll do the same thing for our privacy policy. So I'll click on page navigation, add a page, scroll down to privacy policy, insert this, copy coffee, and then also add this page. Once we do create those pages, we can then go back over here and then we can link those pages on the TOS. So for example, this is my privacy policy. I'll go ahead and paste that there. And then I'll go to the TOS right here. And then I'll grab this link. And voila. So now we have our TOS and privacy policy. You can also choose to require a phone number at checkout and then also add custom fields to the checkout if you want to go that route. Here we can adjust the store language, and once you're done, you'll then click on save. Now the next section is emails. So here's a list of emails that Hostinger sends out to your customers. So we have order confirmation and shipping and all these other options. Now, for example, if you want to see what the order confirmation looks like, here I'll click on preview. And this is a preview of what the order confirmation looks like for your customers. Now, to my best understanding, you cannot edit these yet, but in the future, they will roll out a feature for that very soon. Now, the last option that we have is taxes. So here I'll click on add tax rules. So for example, here I'll put Thailand because I'm in Thailand right now. So first, let's apply a flat tax for our store. So this will be flat tax or flat rate. And then here we'll add a country. And I'll go ahead and select Thailand. Then I'll click on save. And then we need to enter in the tax rate. So what is the tax rate for this region? So right here, I'll put flat rates. And then here, we're going to add a tax rate of 8%. Apply taxes to shipping cost. Well, I'm not going to, so I'll put no, and then I'll click on save. Now, if you are in the United States and you don't know your tax rate, you can always go to taxjar.com, and this website right here will actually tell you how much the sales tax is for every state. So for California, 7.25, for Kansas, 6.5, and so on and so forth. So if you do need help with this, I'll go ahead and leave this in the description just in case you don't know the sales tax for your state. And lastly, we have invoices. So this is your invoice, and this is typically what's sent to customers, right? Here you can add in the invoice number. So right here, this is invoice 1. You can also make sure that you adjust your company information. You can also add in any additional information you want, like a tax ID. You can also hide your logo or your email or your phone number, just in case you don't want that showing on your invoice. So this is where you can fully customize your invoice. And then once you're done, you'll click on save. So now the last option is adding in a payment gateway. So let's do that. Right here, I'll click on checkout. So for this video, I'll show you how to integrate 2 payment gateways. I'll show you how to integrate this with PayPal and also Stripe. Now, just remember, when you integrate this with PayPal, you must open a business account. Now, a business account is free. It doesn't cost you anything whatsoever. There is no credit check. There's no monthly payments. All you got to do is just sign up, make an account, and then you're good to go. And the next is Stripe.com. Now, Stripe.com is a free service. And again, there's no membership fee, there's no sign-up fee, and there's also no credit check. They do take a small transaction fee of about 3%, but that is standard for every merchant in the industry. So first, let's integrate PayPal. So right here, I'll click on Connect. So the first thing that you'll want to do is make sure you log in with your PayPal account. So here, I'll put in my email, and then I'll click on Next. And that is it. It's so easy. So you just log in with PayPal, and now we're connected. So right here, I'll click on Return to Hostinger. All right, so PayPal is fully integrated. Now let's integrate Stripe. So right here, I'll click on Connect, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll just log in with our Stripe account. So here's my email. I'll click on Submit. Then I'll enter my password and click on Submit. Now, if you have multiple accounts, you'll just go ahead and select your account that you want to connect it with. You'll scroll to the bottom and click on Continue. So the next thing they're asking is they have this service where they can calculate the sales tax for you. Now, I'm not too familiar with this. This is a brand new feature, so you can check this out on your own time. But for now, I'll just click on Not Right Now. Here, they're just making sure to review our company information. It looks good, so I'll scroll down and then click on Agree and Submit. And just like that, Stripe is now fully integrated. Now let's go ahead and set up a manual payment. And we can use this actually to test the orders on our website, just to make sure that we're getting the emails. So right here, I'll click on Add. And this will be cash on delivery. Okay. And then here, I'll make sure this is enabled. And then I'll click on Save. And as of right now, we're all ready to go. So let's make a sale. And as of right now, we're all ready to go. So let's now make a live transaction on our websites. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go live, right? So up here, I'll click on Go Live. And voila. So now we can visit our websites. All right, so let's run a test transaction. Now here at the top, I'll click on Shop. I'll then select a product. And then here we have our product. And I just want to make sure that I select large. And I want to select maybe like 3, right? So I'm going to buy 3 of these. Yeah, 3. Here, click on add to bag, and then I'll click on checkout. And then you'll see we have the option for regular shipping because this order costs more than $100, right? We can also see the tax as well. So it's charging an 8% tax. So here I'll click on continue. And then I'll enter in my information. So once you enter in your email, your name, and then your address, you'll then click on I agree, and then click on continue. And lastly, we have the payment methods. So we can pay with PayPal. We can also pay with credit card with PayPal. We can also use credit card, or we can use cash on delivery. I'm gonna use cash on delivery for this one just because I don't wanna use real money. So once I select cash on delivery, I'll click on place an order. And congratulations, you've now successfully made an order. Now let's check our email and also our order dashboard. So the first thing is, as a customer, you'll see right here, we got an order confirmation. So the order was confirmed. You'll see that we have 3 orders of the Kopi wine coffee. So now we know that the emails are being sent directly to our customers. Now let's check our orders. So over here under manage store, I'll click on orders. Now here's a list of your orders. Now for every order that you receive, you wanna make sure that you fulfill it. Essentially, when someone buys something, you just wanna let them know that you shipped the product. So I'll go ahead and click on this order. And what I'll do is mark this as paid. Now this is only because this is a cash on delivery item. So you won't have to select that if they use a credit card. And once you actually ship the product, you'll then click on mark as fulfilled. And then here you can enter in a tracking number. Now, if you have a tracking number, you can actually add that. And that's great because your customers will actually receive this in their email. And right here, you'll see you can add a tracking number. So I'll put in a tracking number and then the tracking page URL. Typically, this is going to be the email from like the USPS or UPS or something like that. You'll just go ahead and put in the tracking page right here. And then you want to send them a shipping confirmation to the customer. So then I'll click on mark as fulfilled. And that's it. Now, if you go over here to overview, you will then see this applies to your actual overview in your store. So congratulations, you just made a sale. Now, really quick, let's go over here to the order one more time. So I'll click on inbox and voila. Now we have this confirmation that the order has been shipped. Really convenient, really easy. Now, the last thing I want to show you all is how to add a real domain for your store. So right here at the top, I'll click on connect domain and then I'll click on change domain. And this is where you can add a domain for your AI e-commerce store. So I'll put something like Cuckoo Coffee or something. I don't know, just whatever. Oh, it's available. That's actually kind of cool. Here, I'll select the domain and then I'll click on next. So the next is the billing period. Now I'll just select 1 year because this is just for a tutorial, right? But you can select like 2 or 3 years if you want to go that route. I'll scroll to the bottom and click on complete payment. Now, the next thing you want to do is confirm your information. So just make sure that you have your address, your email, and your phone number. This is very important because if you ever want to sell your domain, this is how they're going to verify who the owner is. So here I'll click on finish registration. And once you purchase it, it'll bring you back to your website builder. Now, it's very important to go to your email and make sure that you confirm the email address. And this is a requirement. So you must confirm your domain in order to verify the email. So all you got to do is click on verify email, and that's it. Now, once you verify the email, you'll see right here, it now changes to your domain. Now, this process can take anywhere between, up to 24 hours or something like that. But in my specific case, it worked instantly. And right away, you'll see that we have our new AI e-commerce website with our new domain. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and congratulations on your new e-commerce store. Now on my channel, I've always recommended WordPress when it comes to e-commerce websites, but I never really liked it for people who want a simple, basic website. You don't need all these plugins and all these fancy, expensive stuff. This right here just sets up your website in a really simple, convenient way. So if you're still kind of looking around, wondering what's best, if you're starting a simple e-commerce website, hosting your AI definitely takes the cake. If you have any questions for me about whatever we talked about, or you want to just, troll me in the comments, let me know in the comments below and I'll get to all of your comments. My name is Daryl Wilson and I'll see all of you party people later.